Hey everyone, and welcome back to another explainer. Today we're doing something kind of different, and honestly, it's pretty fascinating. We're taking a deep forensic dive into what might just be the internet's most overlooked, yet high-stakes, micro-experience. You experience it almost every single day, probably without giving it a second thought. But today, we're going to freeze time, break down the screen, and uncover the massive digital machinery that's operating quietly in the background of a simple, fleeting pause.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Just a moment. You know the one? It's that iconic, super polite, totally unassuming little phrase. It kicks off our daily digital waiting game. When you see this text pop up on your screen, it feels like a mere transition, right? Just a tiny hiccup of latency before you get to where you actually want to be. It asks for your patience, implying a brief pause while the internet gets its act together.
But what is actually happening in that exact moment? Well, this is where our forensic investigation truly begins. Because I got to tell you right now, that screen, it is absolutely not a loading screen. It is not waiting for an image to buffer or a video to render. It is a high-security checkpoint. In those few seconds before the destination page actually loads, an invisible, incredibly complex interrogation is taking place.
Section 1. The Endless Moment. Seeking digrajoshrajput.com.
So, you've clicked the link, you've hit enter, but wait, you aren't allowed inside just yet. It's kind of like standing in a digital lobby, and the doors are locked tight until the system clears you. And the screen literally tells us what it's up to, performing security verification. I really want to stress this. This is not a passive delay. No way. This is an active, real-time security operation happening right in front of our eyes. The system is scanning, computing, and analyzing the incoming traffic, which in this case happens to be you. It's a live event where your right to access the destination is actively being questioned and evaluated.
Section 2. The malicious spot threat. The invisible war.
So, why do we even need this security verification in the first place? Well, simply put, the internet is constantly under siege. The source text actually points out that this site uses a security service specifically to protect against malicious bots. The owner of digrajsingrajput.com has intentionally set up this dedicated gatekeeper to manage a massive divide. And this brilliantly illustrates the situation. On the left side, we have you, the legitimate human user just trying to read an article, check a portfolio, or browse the site. You are the subject to verification. And then on the right, we have the invisible army of malicious bots. These are automated scripts designed to scrape content, spam forms, or maybe even take the whole website offline entirely. This single page is essentially a battlefield, separating the legitimate user from the automated threat.
Which brings us to a core definition straight from our source. Verification is the active process displayed on this page while the website determines you are not a bot. That is literally the only reason this page exists. It pops up for 5 seconds just to make that one critical bot or not determination. It's essentially asking, hey, are you human or are you a machine?
Section 3. The browser requirements, proving your humanity.
Okay, so if the system is questioning whether you're human, how exactly do you prove it? What do you actively have to do to pass this invisible test, get the stamp of approval, and continue your digital journey? Well, the system doesn't ask you for a driver's license. Instead, it asks your web browser for some very specific technological credentials. The text gives us the strict mandates right there. To continue, you must enable JavaScript and you must enable cookies. You can think of these as your mandatory digital passport. See, a lot of those malicious bots we talked about, they operate in a super stripped-down, headless manner to move faster. They don't bother running complex JavaScript, and they definitely don't hold on to session cookies. So by forcing your browser to execute JavaScript and accept a cookie, the gatekeeper is basically using the everyday mechanics of human web browsing as proof of life.
Section 4. Your digital fingerprint. The anatomy of an event.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happens when we look a little deeper. Hidden right at the bottom of the screen is a clue. It hints at the massive underlying infrastructure tracking this exact moment. Look at this giant hexadecimal string, A09E35C8 EAFB680F. According to the source, this is called a Ray ID. And guys, this isn't just random gibberish. This is a highly specific, totally unique identifier assigned to your exact session at your exact geographical location at this exact millisecond in time. If something goes wrong, or say you get falsely flagged as a malicious bot, this Ray ID is the literal forensic evidence of your specific encounter with the gatekeeper. So who is the architect behind this whole security performance? The text reveals the wizard behind the curtain right here. Performance and Security by Cloudflare, followed closely by a link to their privacy policy.
Cloudflare operates this massive global network, and they have a dual mandate here. They are providing the strict security needed to block those bots, while simultaneously trying to maintain performance so that this just a moment screen really only lasts a few seconds.
Section 5, Handshake and Success, the final threshold.
All right, we're reaching the climax here. The JavaScript is run, the cookies are present, the Ray ID is officially logged, and Cloudflare's network has made its rapid-fire calculation. Let's move to and see how this builds, stepping through the victorious procedural flow we've uncovered as we cross from the waiting room to the destination. First, we have the active state, performing security verification. Second, the specific action, verifying you are not a bot. Third, the clearance, verification successful. And finally, the pivot, waiting for DigigarajSinghRajput.com to respond.
Verification successful. Waiting for DigigarajSinghRajput.com to respond. I mean, this is it, the moment of triumph. You have officially defeated the invisible army of malicious bots and proven your humanity. But I do want to point out a pretty wonderful irony in this final transition. For the last 5 seconds, you had to bend over backwards to prove yourself to the system. But now that you've passed, the tables turn entirely, and now you are left waiting on the final destination to actually reply and deliver the content you came for.
So what does this all mean? The crucial point is this. The gatekeeper has stepped aside. You've proven your humanity. But is DigigarajSinghRajput.com actually ready for you? The security check is completely done, but that final digital handshake completely relies on the destination holding up its end of the bargain. Next time you see that just a moment screen pop up, I hope you remember this explainer. Remember the invisible war, your digital passport, and the insanely complex machinery working tirelessly behind the scenes to keep the web safe, one 5-second pause at a time. Thanks for hanging out with me for this one. And as always, keep your curiosity sharp.